Alright guys, so finally coming back to you with a Ranbat review. I talked about it a little bit in the chat, but I'm going to change the format up a little bit. I think I'm going to do local recordings and upload them to YouTube instead. I think it'll be a better format because one, as you probably have discovered, I'm not doing much streaming in the morning anymore. Just wasn't, I had a lot of fun doing it, but it wasn't worth it. I didn't find a lot of competition. I mean, I found games, but a lot of the people I'd really like to be playing with obviously weren't playing. And it was tough to find games a lot of the time, and then it was also just taken away from what I already get is very limited sleep. So streaming I will be doing is going to be on the weekends, late night usually now. But I still wanted to do this because I had a lot of fun doing this as well, and I thought it was pretty helpful. I also think the video format on YouTube is going to be a little bit easier for folks to navigate. If they want to go back and watch something or listen to something, it's going to be easier to hunt it down on a video on YouTube, I think, than it is to go back into the stream archives and find it that way. So just for convenience and ease of everything, I think this is the way to go. Then I can edit down stuff too if I need to, or if I get fancier, I can put more editing into it, but as of right now, it's just going to be pretty basic. So we're going to be looking at the last 2 weeks of Ranbats, namely because I didn't really watch the first one. I heard it was good, so I'm sad that I missed it, and it's not on the stream archive anymore. So, but I watched the last 2 weeks, and I've got a pretty good idea of where everyone's at and what we can focus on. So that's what we're going to be doing. I will say that I've been super pleased with everyone's progression. It's been really incredible to watch a lot of people, pretty much everyone move forward. I think special shout outs go to Chris and Jeremy. I think those two have made the largest leap forward in such a short amount of time. I mean, when I first played, Chris was at, what was it, probably the last local I went to, and he was just like fresh as a daisy. Didn't know anything. I mean, knew some stuff, but barely knew anything. And he's just come such a long way. And then Jeremy, he's been around a while, but he never really took the game seriously. And now that he has, he's shown how far he can come in a short amount of time with pretty much a brand new character to him. So it's really good. The other thing is, I think anyone that might be feeling discouraged shouldn't. I feel like even though those two have probably made the biggest leap forward, I think everyone's progressing forward. But what that can do is it can make it feel stagnant. The people that have lost in the past are still kind of losing, and the people that have won in the past are still kind of winning. But let me assure you that from what I see, there is not that much that differentiates the top from the bottom. Any night, someone could have a really good night and beat anyone, and now it's really going to come down to your individual effort, really. If you want to make it to the top of the heap right now, you can. It's there. You just got to want to do it. So I'm going to try to guide everyone, see what I'm seeing, show folks where they can improve, what I'm, things that are being exploited that maybe you can work around, things like that. But this is kind of the point of these Ranbats, I think, and Tony's done a good job at fostering it. And like I said, everyone's got a shot, and everyone's moving forward. And I can assure you that even though it might feel like it to some of you, that no one's really remained stagnant. I will tell you that for the folks that have been on the top, progression forward is a lot more difficult. Some of the basic things that you can learn just by playing every week. But the point that you guys are at now, unless you played all the time, it's really just going to require you to sit down in practice mode. Things like, ducking strings is going to be my big focus for this video, but ducking strings, punishment, throw breaking, blocking those on reaction, those are all things that, yes, you can get better at just by playing people, but you're going to expedite that process significantly by actually going into practice mode. And I've said this, numerous times, obviously, and I'm probably going to say it a million more times, but that's the beauty of these Ranbats. You guys are playing the same people week in, week out. You're seeing the same things with new things mixed in. Obviously, everyone's doing a little bit of adapting here and there, but you're playing the same characters, you're seeing the same moves, you're seeing the same strings. There's no reason why you can't get really good at punishing those things. You're seeing them every week. So if you put the practice time that you put in against these characters is going to show. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel accomplished because the next time you block a forward 2 at the end of a round from one of the Asuka players and you launch it, that's going to feel really good. And that's something you can put value on and know that it's going to happen. If it's someone like me who only really gets to play online, gets a different person every time, I can lose a matchup pretty bad going to practice mode and practice it, but there's no guaranteeing that I'm going to see that matchup again for, especially with the limited time I play, maybe another 2 weeks. You guys have it every week consistently, so you can see your progress. You can be rewarded for putting in that time. So, like I said, good job, everyone. Keep it up. I'm really impressed. I'm really happy to see the scene doing so well. I know a few of you are coming with me to final round, so that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be the first time we as Upstate can really go out to a major event outside of the New York area and rep, so I know I'm putting in work. This is about the time where I'm really starting to crack down. I took a long weekend this weekend actually partly for that reason, so yeah, so let's just help each other get better. So, I think really the main thing that like I said, I'm going to be looking at this week is with your guys' forward progression. I think you are all almost at this point where you have the basics of your character down. Punishment could be better. Little things like that can all be better. But that's fine. That's part of the growing process. We've all been at that point. So now you're exploring the move list, right? And you guys are finding little things for yourself that are working. And all of you, almost all of you, have come down to strings that are duckable, but generally leave you at a favorable position. And that's fine. So the problem is that a lot of you are becoming super reliant on them. And again, I think this is definitely all part of the learning process, and especially in an environment like this. You all are doing the thing that I emphasized so much in the last season, and that's playing to your audience, right? You guys are finding things that work, and while on paper they might not be the best things, they're working, and you're finding setups off of them. I think especially someone like Jobman, I'm watching him, and I really like what he's doing. The problem is, and the problem I see for you guys is when you go out of your comfort zone here in Upstate and you go to play other people, if you run into someone that knows those strings, it's going to be tough because you are so used to relying on them that, I gave Bo shit the other day in Discord. I'm like, oh, we're just out here winning Ranbats with forward 1-2. And he laughed, and he's like, well, once they start ducking it and launching it, I'll stop doing it. The problem is, I don't think he will. I don't think any of you will, and I think the reason is because it's going to be so ingrained in your brain to do it that when you are in a clutch situation against someone good in a tournament, you might be able to turn that off, but I think it's going to take more effort than you realize. You're just going to mindlessly be throwing it out, and you're going to get launched 2 or 3 times before you're like, shit, I got to stop doing it. 2 or 3 times in a tournament match, that's like a round and a half. Gone. Just for doing a silly string. It's, like I said, once it gets so ingrained in your muscle memory and in your head, it becomes really difficult to just turn it off. Now, I will say, and we're probably going to look, I think we're going to look at one of the matches. For example, Jeremy, with his Steve, has been using a lot of forward 2-1 to get into peekaboo. And when someone ducked it, he did start using the mid pretty much right away, which is great. If you have that option in the string that you're using, then great. I totally believe that everyone should use all of their characters' move list to keep the opponent, on their toes. Using the same 10 moves over and over, I don't think is that good. So I believe that every move has a purpose and every move is worth using. And if you, especially in a string like that where you have an option for a mid to mix up with the high, definitely worth using. And if you can recognize that and switch to that right away, then awesome. My concern is for like some of the strings that folks are using that don't have a mid option at all, like Jobman's while standing 1-3, or boy, just left my head. Oh yeah, Bode, the Jack forward 1-2. So there's no mid option there. I mean, you could do something like a forward 1 into forward 1 or forward 1 into down forward 2. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I mean, if someone's pretty bad, but someone's gonna like twitch duck and see that. It just doesn't work. So, and that's kind of my concern, is that some of those strings just don't have another option. It's always a high. I think it's gonna get you killed. So, that said, the onus lies on you as the player doing it, but to be fair, I really do believe it also lies on your opponents. Now is the time where not only is each individual person's practice going to make them a better player, it's going to help make everyone else a better player. Because now, when people start ducking forward 1-2 from Bo's got to start thinking about it. And he's going to lose some rounds, he's going to lose some matches, it's going to be like, shit, I got to kind of reevaluate how I'm just checking that out. And that's for everyone. And one of the matches I'm going to look at for the match of the week, we got 3 of them this week, again, because I'm kind of far behind them. Want to look at a few different things. But literally one of the really close matches came down to one person ducked one of the strings one time. And sometimes that's all it takes. Like, I don't expect you guys to duck every string every time. It's just unrealistic. But sometimes in a set, all it takes is one person to duck one string one time. You just have to react to it that one time, and all of a sudden you've won the match. So, it is really important. So, that's what we're going to take a look at. I have a list here of some of the strings. So again, it's at this point, it's kind of on everyone to put in the work. And again, I know everyone's got different situations. Trust me, I work my ass off all the time and stuff, so I know how hard it is. But this is the path to forward progress now for a lot of you. You guys are at a point where you were going to start hitting a wall, and you are going to find that it just doesn't seem like you're getting any better. This is the step. This is what takes you to that next level. Punishment, ducking strings, things like that. These are the things that take you to the next level. So, again, I'm not going to kind of show them on the screen. I thought about doing that, but that's going to be way too much work. Sorry. But, if you're looking at Asuka, the strings that I see being abused all the time are down forward 1-2. That one does have a mid option that's punishable, and it's guaranteed on counter at 13 frames, so it's a good move. But it's getting chucked out a lot. Her 2-1 1+2, it's her screw attack in most of her combos. It screws on the less it screws on counter hit. So that's getting chucked out. That can be ducked. And then, of course, while standing 1-3. That second hit is a high. You can duck it. Why those are so effective? Specifically the down forward 1-2 and the while standing 1-3. The thing about them is the pushback, right? So a lot of strings that are high might be safe, but they're minus a lot. So even if you don't duck them, you can really kind of take advantage by getting a mix-up after you block it. Whereas those strings from Asuka, you really can't. Because what happens is you get back 3'd. And we're going to see that a lot. It's a really good setup. It really is. The pushback on those moves is so much that unless you use like the right advancing mid to kind of cover yourself, if you dash in, you jab, you do anything like that, you just get back 3'd. And it's really good. And Jobman runs that like it's his job. And I would too. It's really good. So the thing is like I check out this string, didn't hit, contingency plan, boom, back 3. And a lot of times one of the two is working. Very rarely do I see that like both moves get blocked or anything like that. And then back 3 is so hard to punish that half the time it's all good. Didn't even matter. So that's why I say like especially Jobman, he's using these strings, but he's got like a step 2. He's got a game plan after these strings too, which are really good. Like even if he cut back to using these like once a match or once a round even, it's worth doing. It's so worth doing it. Especially if a character doesn't really have a good punish for like back 3, like why the heck not? So I really like what he's doing. But again, now the onus is on other people to beat that, because he's getting a lot of wins off the back of that strategy. Again, a really good strategy, but I wanna see him get pushed past that, because some of the he's also one of the weaker people when it comes to punishment. So like if he could be forced to, alright, I gotta start getting wins by doing a little bit of this, but also I really gotta work on my punishment game, he's gonna become so well rounded. He's already one of the most consistent players we have. So doing that is gonna help a lot. For Steve, really the big one that I'm seeing is forward 2-1. There's other ones, but I don't see him as much. Forward 2-1 puts him into peekaboo. I don't know the frames off the top of my head if you can interrupt him on block, but again, it's just a really easy transition into peekaboo. The thing with this string, though, is obviously there's a mid follow-up. So there's kind of a mix-up there. But the thing is, again, if you're aware of it, Jeremy's using it a lot. If you're aware of it, you launch it once, that's a lot of damage for you. For basically what equates to a mid-poke for him. So it's worth knowing. Lars, the classics, back 3-4 and down forward 2-1. Those are the two duckable strings from Lars. That's really about it as far as I know. Those are the popular ones. Those are the ones you gotta react to. They're both, pretty slow. They're 2 hits. They're very launch punishable. Yeah. And you're going to see every Lars player. Maybe not so much just checking out back 3-4, but every Lars player throws that down forward 2-1. Every single one. So it's worth knowing. For Jack, it's forward 1-2. The last hit's there's a third hit that's a mid, but you can launch the string before that comes out. The thing is, with this one, is that it's actually just a really good move. So while some of the, Lars's moves are really, both of those should exclusively be used to punish, either whiff punish or block punish, so they shouldn't really be getting chucked out. Again, they do. Everyone does it, not just Chris, but they really should be used for punishment. Jax is a little different because, yes, it's his 14-frame punisher, but forward 1 is a 14-frame mid that tracks both directions almost 100%. It's just a really, really good move to chuck out. And so chucking out the second hit is good because if you think they are going to block the first hit, you can hit them with the second one. Or if the first one hits, it's a natural combo into the second one, and it's +5 on hit, which is a lot. So it's a good move, but there's no other option. That's the big thing there. So if someone's just throwing out the second hit a lot, you can duck and launch it. So really you want to get the Jack player just throwing out forward 1, which is still good because that's a safe move, but just be aware of the second hit, launch it when you can. And then lastly, and there's probably some other characters, but these are the big ones. I'm looking at Paul. The forward 2-1 just frame, back 1-2 his 12-frame punisher, and then while standing 3-2 his 13-frame while standing punisher. You are going to see these moves from every Paul player ever, all the time. Um, so getting familiar with those is going to be so important because there's not a single Paul player that you won't see use those moves. And while they probably won't check out too much back 1-2, but it happens. Maybe they miss a punish. Maybe that you want to be used to ducking it. Forward 2-1 is going to be used a ton. While standing 3-2 is going to be used a ton. Because the second hit is delayable and launches on counter hit. So people will go for that. So those are the big moves that you want to be looking at to duck with law. So again, like these are moves that are being used all the time, with varying success and varying degrees of how good they are to just throw out. Most of these though are pretty good to just throw out. They leave the user in an advantageous position, usually even if they get blocked. Or at the very least, they're safe. So these moves aren't gonna go away, and they're moves that you see from every user of those characters. So learning to recognize and duck these even occasionally isn't just gonna help you in the Ranbats. It's gonna help you in those character matchups wherever you see them, whether it be online, at a tournament, anything like that. So that would be my challenge for folks. Continue working on your punishment. Though that's huge still, but this is like another step to that. If you can start punishing people for doing their high strings, it's going to push them to rethink their strategy. It's going to help you solidify your matchup. It's just really important. But the only way you're going to do that is really just getting into practice mode. Even if it's only for a little bit. That's going to make that process so much easier. And again, the other thing I would tell you is don't beat yourself up too much. I mean, I'm really guilty of this myself, but like, you're not going to duck the string every time, especially if there's a built-in mid mix-up like Steve's 4-2-1. Naturally, you're not going to want to duck the string every time, otherwise you're just going to eat the mid every single time. So if you miss a duck on something, don't beat yourself up. But, there's times when I'm seeing like rounds where the same stringer is being used multiple times in the same round. I'm like, man, you got to duck that. You got to duck it. So that was my big takeaway from at least the last 2 weeks. But again, this is a very, very natural progression. Ducking strings is not something that's super easy. Reacting to the strings, knowing the mix-ups out of them, it's not something that's super easy, but it's really, especially with the frequency of which everyone's using them, it's going to be what kind of starts separating people. The people that can start ducking and punishing the strings are going to be the people that start winning more. Because not only that, it's going to put the other person on the back foot. They've been so used to just kind of hucking these out that they're going to have to think about, like, oh man, well, what should I do now? And that's your opportunity, right? The thing is about ducking some of these strings is not only is it good for like getting damage, but it gets in the opponent's head. Like all of a sudden they're like, oh, I can't just check that out anymore. So that's one more thing they have to consciously kind of think about, unless a really good player that, some people can just kind of turn it off. They've been doing it forever. But a lot of the times it's something they have to start thinking about, and you'll find that it's not something they can just do. They just can't necessarily stop doing that. And you're going to be able to, if you can react to it, get a lot of damage for being able to duck. Alright. So, let's see here. Jawman versus Chris. Now, while standing 3, you're doing work. Alright, good counter hit. Just tagging him to the wall. Pretty sure that's punishable. He was just a little late. Oh, that was a good confirmation from Jobman. Nice. That was a good time to wall standing too. Jobman has been attacking a lot after down back forehand hit. Alright, lightning screw. So like in this situation, let's bag it up here. Would have really liked to just get down back 2-1 there. You know? Just like a down back 2-1 to take him to the wall so that he can get his full wall combo. Could have got more damage. Still attacking after down back 4 and hit a lot. That was good punish. Oh, that was a good duck. Dang, that was a solid whiff punish. Chris was looking real good. Wall standing 1-3, still doing work. Ooh. Jobman rides the hell out of the momentum that he gets. Once he starts going, he's hard to stop. Good answer. Ouchie. Nice. Gotta punish that hop kick. Oscar hop kick going unpunished a lot of the time too. Get your jabs at least. Ooh, nice little floating conversion. Oh, that was forward 2-4 for probably the game. That mid giddy up kick, man. That was forward 2-4 into the wall. See if it comes back to bite him. Alright. He gets some strangling him from across the stage. But yeah, that, I mean, it's little things. Little things like that. That mid giddy up kick is -12. He can forward 2-4, put him into the wall, do a wall combo, and he's probably dead. He wins the round anyway, but could have gone a lot easier. Overall, though, really solid play from both sides. It was a good match. Well, there it is. Silly strings. Again, they're worth throwing out. Especially when they give as much return on the investment as Jobman gets off of them. Man, that was a good sequence. Jobman is really good at having his situational awareness unlock. Makes really good decisions in really strange situations. Again, pushing buttons after that, so he could have hurt him for that, or just ducked the string. Gotta launch lightning screw. That was a good low parry, though. And again, in that situation, I'm pretty sure instead of doing 1, he could do 3. That, and then he could still get down back to 1 shoulder for wall carry. Gotta start looking into that because you're losing so much damage. Yeah. Instead of the 1, I'm pretty sure you can just do 3. And it gives a weird wall slump, but you can still pick up with down back 2-1 shoulder. Good low parry. Same thing there. Ooh. Yeah, same thing there, though. Could have had better wall positioning and a wall combo. Those two combos could have very easily changed the outcome of those last 2 rounds. I think we're going to see it again right here. 3 might not have gotten him to the wall that time, but good low parry. Oh! Would have loved to have seen another shoulder there. When their backs to the wall, I know, like, have your shoulder punish on lock. Put them right back into, or back 3-4. Back 3-4 there would have been fucking sick too. Back 3-4 is probably a safer choice. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know if that hit him getting up or what. Alright. And Job Man, once he starts rolling, he's hard to stop. That cancel into wall standing 1-3 does so much work. Nice lightning screw. And that's the time you do the one where you're just nowhere close to the wall. Boy. Loves attacking after down back 4 on hit. Something you gotta be aware of. Rage art. In those situations, like, I'm obviously, like, you know your staple combo, but man, I would just rage art. Okay. Good. Alright. Shotman didn't attack that time, so he's being good at mixing it up. Rage art. Oh. Or I think he can get an extended combo with Rage Drive. I'm not really sure how Rage Drive with Lars works, but I think he could have done something there to kill him. And he could have won that round. I definitely think there's something he could have done there to kill him. Again, like, I mean, these are the little optimizations, the little things that are gonna start separating people. It doesn't seem like much, but it just adds up so quickly. Down by 2-1. Yeah. This has been Chris's biggest weakness for a while, is just his combo optimization. Gotta start optimizing the spacing of your combos. That was a good duck, just gotta punish. Chris was playing just like so well, but he's just kind of, the problem is you're just kind of letting your awesome like reads down with like suboptimal combos. You're not getting the most out of, you're earning these things, these combos, and you're just not getting what you should be getting out of them. But you're playing super well. Nice. Good low parry. That time, I think, after the screw, you could have got down back 2-3 to take him to the wall instead of the down forward 1. Right there, I think down back 2-3, if that's still a move, which I think it is, that would take him to the wall. Lars has lots of carry options post screw that take him different distances. That's the kind of thing you want to start looking at. Trying to get more optimization out of your carry so you can get full wall combos. Job man whipping out all the strings. Caught him staring. Nice. Ooh. Classic while sending 1-3 in the back three. What I'd like to see here when you're at that distance, Chris, is start thinking more about forward 1+2. It's only like -10, and it spaces out, so most people can't punish it anyway. But especially Asuka, she'll get like nothing. And launcher on counter hit covers a lot of distance. That and like while running 3 are both good ways to get in. Like obviously, while forward 1+2 is -10, but again with the spacing, you could like bait people into getting hit by up forward 3 afterwards. There's like a lot of things you could do. The same way that Jobman uses while standing 1-3 in the back 3 and hits people for like coming in. You can do the same thing with that move. Damn, that was sick. Oh no, I remember that. Alright, so one thing, again, is this was a sick combo. I think really the only way you could optimize there is, again, after this down back 2, do the stance into 3. Would have taken him right to the wall for a full wall combo. But otherwise, I mean, that was pretty sick. And then obviously, just punishing rage art. Oh, you just completely blank. Ah, just completely blanked. That sucks. But it was a good match. Like I said, Jobman doing Jobman things, which is good. Like I said, he's just so consistent. There's not much to say about it. He plays really well. Your situational awareness for like off-axis and weird wall splat combos is really good. You get a lot of damage, probably the most damage you can get most of the time, which is really good. And you're running your game and it's working, so there's not much more to say to that until it stops working, and then we'll see how you kind of adjust to that. For Chris, you were playing super well. The biggest thing, your biggest weakness right now is something that's so easy to fix. It's just getting your situational combo awareness down. Getting them to the wall for a full wall combo whenever you can. And Lars has a lot of different tools to do that. Post screw, look at down back 2-3. Maybe it's down back 2-4. I can't remember. One of the two. See how far that takes him. Down back 2-1. How far does that take him? Your down forward 1, down back 2, SC or whatever, 3. See what I'm talking about with that. See how far that takes them. See how you can get the wall combo. They slump really low to the ground, but you can still pick them up with down back 2-1. All of those have different ranges and different uses. In Tekken 6, we even used up forward 3. If like they're really close to the wall, you can screw them, dash up forward 3, and that puts them right into the wall. He has a lot of different options for wall carry that are all really good. So you explore them. So up forward 3 if they're really close, down back 2-1 if they're pretty close, probably down back 2-3 if they're pretty far, and then if they're really far, do the down forward 1, down back 2, SE3. That's kind of in order of how far it takes them to the wall after the screw. But he has so many options, and learning which one to use and when so you can get your full wall combo is going to do you so good. The only other thing I would say is go into practice mode and test and see if back 3-4 will consistently punish back 3. That would do a lot for you in this matchup. The other thing, and this is good for everyone, obviously ducking while sending 1-3 from Asuka is going to do big work against Jobman's current game plan. But again, the same way he has a contingency with the back 3, you guys should have a contingency plan too. So if you don't duck while standing 1-3, he's minus, I believe Kyle said he's minus 12. Probably true, but it's probably too far for most people to punish with their 12 frame punisher. So that means you have 12 free frames to work with. do some kind of advancing mid so that if he does back three, he gets counter hit. Whatever that option might be for Lars, you could probably do up forward 4. So if you block while standing 1-3 and immediately do up forward 4, you can't be slow or you'll probably get hit. But if you immediately do up forward 4, it'll probably cover most things that he could do. Especially if he pushes the button, he's probably going to just get launched. You all have to find that for your own individual characters, but having that contingency plan is really good. Because I don't think he'd be able to very easily get around it because he's at -12. So any button he presses, the fastest it's coming out is 22 frames later. So that's going to lose to up forward 4, I think, or tie it or something. But again, so you got to find your mid there. But other than that, well played, guys. I thought that was a really good match. I think it showed off both players' strengths quite a bit. So next, we're gonna see the classic rivalry, at least since I've been watching. And we have Tony saying that Bo's the new Damas. I like that. This match is really good because it's really close, but it's also really good because it showcases exactly what I've been yammering on about pretty much this whole time. So let's take a look. Alright, jab into throw. Bo classic. That's a me classic though too. It's really good. Planting seeds on him. So I don't know if people know this. Just in case you don't, because it's always worth trying if you don't break the throw. This throw where he punches you into the wall, if you tap back as soon as the fist connects with your character, you can block it, and it's like -17 or 18. So even if you get picked up for the throw, it's not over. You can still block it. Good low parry. Answer the perfect with the perfect. Drippity drippity drop drip drop. Pissing everywhere. Ooh, that could have been anything. Down for a 3-2 to wall splat him. Dump truck to wall splat him. Alright, Bo closes it out. Good punish. So here in this situation, you don't after you block that back one, I mean, obviously you've got to mix it up, but you don't have to take those highs after that. Do either full crouch down back 1 or down 4. You completely kill his momentum. I have a really long set with a Steve player online from the last stream that I did with Marduk, and you're going to see me in that situation hitting him with down 4 a ton because it high crushes. The advantage, though, is for Jack is both of those lows give you huge advantage, where with Marduk, I stop his strings, but I have to block. Well, I don't have to block, and you'll see that, but I'm -5, whereas you're plus, so that's one of the reasons why Jack is such a good matchup against Steve, is all of his high crushing lows leave him at advantage. Nice spin throw, I like that. Even though he broke it, I really like that. Nice mix-up. These are always such good matches. Nice. Can launch that, though. Can launch that. I tested that. That's one thing that Jeremy's got to start doing more, is start doing his full crouch down forward 2 on lows that you can launch punish. Break. And Bo ties it right back up. And he gets the duck. All of a sudden, this first super close match is decided because Bo ducked a string once. That's my point. All the momentum of this set, or not all the momentum, but the first big chunk of momentum is decided because someone ducked a string. Sometimes that's all it takes. There's another one. The peekaboo down forward 2-1 is high as well, but you don't see that one as often. Nice. I like that. Take him all the way to the wall. Boom. That was a perfect pressure to the wall. That could have been Sonic Fang right into it. Or back 1-2. Back 1-2 right into the wall there. Down 4 is your answer there. Down 4 is 100% your answer. Or again, you could do full crouch down back 1 as well. But don't let Steve bully you with those things. Oh boy. I think Jeremy gets a combo there, but he goofed it. And they're doing that. Missing a lot of whiff punish opportunities with Sonic Fang, or forward too. Ooh. Boom. Could have ducked that. Launched him. So again, not ducking the string, that could have been his round. I mean, like I said, all's Bo has to duck is 1. And it made such a big difference in the outcome of the match. That could have too. Nice. And that's the thing. Steve obviously has a mid option there for when people do start ducking. Boom. Solid. Nice. Nice choosing to hit the brakes. You showed it to him enough times to where he'd start reacting, and then you didn't do it. That's good. I like that. Ooh. You dead? Oh, man. Oh, man. Hot garbage. That's hot garbage. I forgot this was only a first to 2. So, again, man, imagine if Jeremy had ducked one of those forward 1-2s and there was another dot under his name right now. They would have been going to a final match. Everything would have been different. It just goes to show you all Bo needed was to duck one of the strings. It's just so important. And it's not important that you duck it every time. Sometimes it's just important that you duck it once. Alright, last but not least, we've got Jeremy versus Jobman. This is always a very good match, too. I love Fly Kai's exit. Perfect. That dude is awesome. Alright. Biggest thing I'm looking at from Jeremy right now is just trying to get forward 2 or Sonic Fang down as a whiff punisher. Like that's the biggest. That's probably. I mean, besides like punishment and ducking strings, all that fun stuff. That's the biggest obvious hole in his game right now. Is just getting some whiff punishment. People can whiff in his face all day. Um, yeah, that's the thing when you're playing people that I'd be really looking to work on. In your practice at home, obviously it's hard to work on that, so you can work on the ducking, the strings, the punishment. But while you're playing people, it's gonna be what you should be really looking for is getting your whiff punishes. Nice. This is a hard matchup for Steve. Solid. Ooh, that was another whole forward 2 or Sonic Fang. Either one of those would punish while standing 3. Oof. Oof. That was good, man. Job Man is a momentum player. Nice. Nice combo. That was a good try. While standing 3, you have to do Sonic Fang or forward 2. It's a good try to punish, though. Okay, good. So later on in the set, you started trying to do it more. You just need more practice with it. It's kind of unfamiliar to you right now. I think forward 2 is the better option, but Sonic Fang is faster, so it's probably a little bit more consistent. Easier to do. Nice. That was good. Oh, I just realized I forgot about forward 2-1 from Moscow. That's another huge string to be ducking. There's just so many. Ooh. That could have been blue Sonic Fang for the punish. While standing 3. Nice. Oh. Heartbreak City. Heartbreak City. Dookie doo-doo. So something like Oscar forward 2, since you can't launch it, I would go for back 1-2 every time versus going for like Sonic Fang. I just feel like that's in that situation, the standing mix-up. Oh yuck! The standing mix-up is better. That fucking sucks. That was a good block. Nice. Classic Jeremy. Nice. Good. Nice dash blocking. He got the better end of those reads in that skirmish. He had the right call on what you were going to do out of peekaboo every time. But you adjusted and got the win. Boom. Sick. Nice. Nice. Good. Oh, Sonic Fang there puts him into the wall. Oh, no. Oh, that was such a sick block. Oh, no. Ah. Nice. I think Jawman is just playing the. I'm not saying much about Jawman, but I think he's just playing the matchup really well. Like, while standing three, and back three both high crush really well. They're both really tough for Steve to punish, and when he does punish them, it's not with a launch or anything. Really, you just play really scummy against Steve because he can't punish you for playing that way. He just can't punish you at all for playing that way. Like random forward twos aren't that bad because again he can't launch it. Like you can, some characters can just play really scummy against Steve because he doesn't get good punishment on their junk. Nice. Sonic Fang was right, but you missed it once and now you're hesitant. But that's the right punish. Sonic Fang is correct. Ooh. Nice. I like it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna hurt. Oh. Oh, nice. Nice. Real solid. Nice back one. Again, like that was worth the risk. Because if he hit him, he got half of his life. If he didn't, what did he end up? What did he punish it with? I forgot now. Jabs. Nah, I mean he could get a little bit better than that, but not much better than that. I think that 3-hit string that knocks down he could get. That's probably the most damage, but I would say back 1-2 is your best bet. Oof. That was a brave duck. Oh, nice. Oh, that was a good round from both players. There's that string. Alright, he read the dick jab, or a low at least. He's been doing low after his peekaboo transition a lot. Ooh. Nice. He's kind of got Jawman on the back burner here. That was a solid low block. Really want to try to low parry that. It's pretty safe. Damn. That was good. Jeremy's definitely finding his own way to approach this matchup that's really effective, I think. He knows like the moves and the things that he's got to do to win. Because this used to be a really tough matchup for him. It's still really hard. You can't just kind of autopilot Steve things, but that could have been Sonic Fang into the wall for a combo. Punishment on the Asuka. The key Asuka moves in the Steve matchup would really take him a lot further. Nice. Oh. Can't adjust for every parry, unfortunately. That was a good choice by Jobman. Nice conversion, as usual. Oh, sick. Oh, sick! Oh, dude, his fucking situational awareness and creativity is so good. He always gets damage when he can get damage. And you're gonna see, like, even though his punishment's a little weak, his game plan against characters is really good, and his consistency and execution and getting his damage where he can is really, really good. That's why he's one of the most consistent players we have. Like, yeah, he's got flaws that could be improved on, but, like, where he's good, he's really good, and he's really consistent. And the thing is that, like, ducking strings and punishing is what everyone needs to work on. But he sets himself apart because he gets you to the wall and does a wall combo every time. And when the wall's weird, he still gets his damage. He converts on all of his floats. He's just really good at stuff like that. So everyone in this community has their strengths and their weaknesses. That's really good. And they're all, for the most part, pretty different. So, I mean, everyone can work on punishment, you know, shit like that. But, like, everyone's major flaws and strengths are pretty different and varied, which is cool. That was a sick back 3. Okay. Alright. Oh, good try. I think that's only 15 now, so down forward 2 is 16, I think. I think you have to 2-3 Shoryuken. Oh, poopy dose. That was a hell of a match, though. Like, a really good match. Definitely deserving of match of the week. That was really good from both players. So again, what I would say is, for Jobman, I think you've got a really, really good strategy on the matchup. I think once he starts punishing you for some of those key moves, it's going to be a little bit harder. But again, they're key moves for a reason. You don't stop using them. I think, again, overall, your biggest weakness, Jobman, is just punishment. There's a lot of times where you could be getting 2-3 that you don't. I know Asuka's punishment is doo-doo, but that's, again, more reason why you have to take what you can get when you can get it. So 2-3 is going to be your best friend. Standing 4 sometimes is your best punish for something. So getting that when you can get it. And, of course, when you can get the one jab, take your one jab. You know. And then for Jeremy, the biggest thing I saw, I think you played really well. You adapted really well. Especially since this is one of your harder matchups, just got to get your punishment down for it. for while standing 3, for back 3. Ducking the Asuka strings is really important, but especially for know what you're going to do for forward 2, back 3, and while standing 3, because they're moves that are going to get used because Steve can't punish them hard. But that means that when you get the chance to punish them, you have to take it. Because otherwise, if you're just letting them go for free, you're probably going to lose. Because if you're not getting any damage off of back 3s or while standing 3s, it's just not in your favor. Because every time they hit you with one of those, they're going to get taken half of your life or more. Alright, so that'll do it for the first Ranbat review in this format. It definitely won't be the last one. Like I said, I'm going to try to be more on top of it. Everyone knows my schedule's pretty wild, so I'm not making any promises. Let me repeat that. I am not making any promises. There is no guarantee that there'll be one of these every week, although I'm going to try my best to do that. And there's definitely no guarantee that it'll be happening right after the Ranbat. But I will do my best. At the very least, I have a lot more free time on the early weekend, so it's more likely that they'll be coming out like a couple days before next week's Ranbat. So in this Friday, Saturday time frame. But again, I will do my best to keep them consistent, keep them coming out to you. You guys keep doing your best to get as consistent as possible and giving me fun Ranbats to review. Hopefully next week we'll see the return of Damas. I always like when he's in the mix because it's a good kind of measuring stick for where everybody's at. But yeah, alright. Can't wait to watch next week. Maybe see you guys tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. Gotta talk to the wife, but now that I've taken some extra time off, I might be able to sneak away and come out. So we'll see. But alright, we'll see y'all next time.